heavy regulations, and a large welfare state. But we know in economy, there is no pre-launch. So the social protection too has to come with cost, which means not the taxpayers, the receivers of this social protection somehow need to pay for it. One good example from our country was Janasavir program in 1990s. At least in that program, receivers obliged to work for their with their colleagues to make the program running. So our proposal is not social democratic market economy, but this slide is liberal conservative social market economy. In this economy, in this policy, we propose fiscal prudence, a stable currency, fiscal stability, deregulation, openness to the trade, flexible labor markets, a limited but not outside public sector. This is the most important thing. Limited public sector, not outside, and social policy for basic safety nets, but not big welfare state. Those are our proposals to address these kind of uh, situations in the economy. Thank you very much, sir, and all others.
Okay, any other groups? Any other group?
Good afternoon. Shall I start, sir?
Yes, you can start.
Yeah, this is our group. We are 4 members in our group, the value of proper preparation. So,
Just give me 1 second. I just want to write down the group names. And only 4 members, right?
yeah, only 4 members, sir.
Yeah, you can start.
Thank you, sir. In this story, we first look at the introduction to the story. So, in the ant and the grasshopper, so where ant is hardworking, spends a summer storing food, while the grasshopper spends time singing and enjoying the life. So, when the winter arrives, the grasshopper has no and suffers while the ant survives comfortably. So, let's look at this presentation, analyzing the story using the economic concepts such as scarcity, opportunity cost, time preferences, and savings behavior. So when we look at the scarcity means the resources are limited. So in the story, food and time are scarce resources. The ant understands this and prepare for the future, but the grasshopper ignores it, and this leads to different outcomes during the winter. Let's look at the next concept of opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of for the next best alternative that is given up. In this story, the grasshopper chooses to sing instead of gathering food. The cost of this decision is the lack of food in winter. So the ant gives up the leisure time but gains the security. Next concept of time preferences. It refers to how individual value present consumption versus future benefits. The grasshopper in this story prefers immediate enjoyment while the ant is willing to delay satisfaction to secure the future. Next, we look at the savings versus consumption. The ant represents saving behavior by storing food for the future. But the grasshopper represents the consumption by enjoying resources immediately. So this shows savings is important for a long-term stability and survival. So from this story, what we come to our conclusion is, so it's highlight the important economic principles such as scarcity, choice, and planning for the future. So it teaches that the good decision making and preparation can lead to better outcomes in our life. Thank you.
Sorry, the slide I can't see names of names. Any slight
Okay, so
change? Yeah, we'll wait here just.
hello. Uh, am I audible?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yes, yes, audible now.
Okay.
Just one minute.
Okay.
Now you can start.
Shall I start?
Yeah, you can start now.
Okay. Uh,
Man,
good
can you hear me?
afternoon, senior. Yeah, yeah. Good
Yeah,
afternoon,
you can start.
Mr. Senior Professor, Mr. Premaratna, and dear colleagues. And today we will briefly discuss what policies can help balance the economy where the ants and grasshoppers theory prevails. So, moving to the introduction part, prudence and hard work and independence are the characteristic of the ants view, and leisure-oriented and interdependency are the main characteristic of the grasshopper view. So moving to the Sri Lankan economy snapshot, we can see the labor force participation rate take 49%, and the unemployment rate is going to 3.9%. And there is a dependency ratio that take 49.5, which indicates that the great economic burden on the workforce to support non-working age individuals. So it is can be concluded that Sri Lankan economy has become very similar to the grasshopper and ants theory. So over to Ashan to give further information.
Thank you, Masanka. Good afternoon to you all. And so here I'm going to explain that Sri Lanka's GDP growth and downtrends and how's the winter coming on based on the ants and grasshoppers story. From you all can see 2019 to 2021, we are in the grasshopper phase. The economy focused on more spending and short-term growth. There was even enough focus on savings or stability. There's only on consuming, and then 2022 again because of that spendings, we became to the economic crisis that we call winter in the story due to the debt issues and shortages and very high inflations. We got to the slow down trend, and afterwards we are on a healing phase with we calling ant phase. From 2023 onwards, we move into ant phase. So country are now re-energizing and growth reaching around 5% by 2024 and continuing into 2025. So my message is too simple that short-term thinking led to the crisis, and but disciplined action will lead to the recovery. So thank you, and over to Nisar.
Thank you, Ashan. Here we can see the tax tiers the employees of Sri Lankan working force can paid uh, based on their annual income, right? Uh, uh, these collected taxes always going the government can collect these taxes and pay as a subsidy back to the economy parties who are not working in the economy. Moving to the next slide, as per our view, we have some recommendation to the government because as when I say that the relying on taxes from working people to support subsidies is not acceptable in the short term, especially during economic crisis or the economical collapse. It is okay, but because in those situations, the government has a responsibility to protect all the individual of the economy and ensure basic living standard of them. However, this should not become a long-term strategy of a government. If subsidies continues for too long, it can create dependency and reduce motivation to work in people. At the same time, it puts pressure on those who are already contributing to the economy. So the government needs to balance and forward-looking approach to solve these unbalanced situations. Therefore, we recommended that subsidies should not only cover day-to-day consumption needs, and it should also help people build a future income. That means part of these funds need to allocate into income generating opportunities, or skill developments, or the way for people to become economically active in future. I mean long future. The goal is not just to support them, but to help them move forward. That's what the main focus of the government should be. This must go hand in hand with creating new opportunities. For that, government should focus on highly dependency areas, attract investments, and create job likewise. Uh, yeah. Finally, the government should recognize and rewards those who are contributing to the economy, that we called ants, right? As example, I can say the workers who bring foreign income into the country's economy can be given incentives like tax benefit or limited duty-free allowances. It's already in our economy, I think. Similarly, hardworking employees and entrepreneurs should be rewarded through fair and transparent system. Then encourage them by like rewarding them likewise. Then same time, the non-working people are discouraging because they need to actively participate the economy and get rewards. I think by doing this, we believe we can encourage productivity, promote fairness, and build a strong economy while reducing long-term dependency. Yeah, yeah. And for the continue this presentation, it's all to you, Tilini.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Now good.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you,
Speak.
Nisar. Let's see what are the policy decisions taken by the policymakers to protect or defend less contributors to the GDP. First one is Aswasum expansion. Sri Lankan government always giving everything free to less contributors by taking the hard workers' money. Because of that, less contributors are getting motivated while hard workers are getting demotivated. Due to this issue, labor migration increases in Sri Lanka. Second one, emergency health buffer. State-funded health facilities for seasonal workers without fixed contracts. Third one, progressive fairness, ensuring the winter of high inflation does not disproportionately affect consumers. Example, higher earners pay a larger portion of taxes, while less contributors tax releases up to 1.8 million annual income. The next places, it means collecting employee performance or behavior issues through stages or constant steps before dismissal. It aims for fairness by allowing improvements, documentary issues, and treating similar cases constantly. Dilshani, over to you.
Thank you, Tilini. Good afternoon. So to conclude our presentation, I would like to leave the idea of the policymaker as a climate controller. So if I'm to brief this, it's when the economy is too hot with consumption. We must encourage and like say, for example, like from interest rates and vice versa. When it's too cold, we must support our grasshoppers to keep fires of commerce burning. Example, let's say with rapid production of goods and services. So the ultimate goal is to move from a consumption-led model to an export-led industrialization model by 2028, ensuring that by 2030 we have achieved true sovereign stability. So thank you very much.
Is that all or any other group?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Arushia. We have 4 members in our group, including Shashika.
Just give me
Supriya,
1 second.
and
I want to write down names. Okay, you can go.
Today we would like to talk about the work and support approach. In Sri Lankan society, we all value hard work, but at the same time, not everyone starts from the same position. Some people face financial difficulties, gaps in education, or unexpected life challenges. Because of this, they may need extra support to move forward. And this is where the imbalance begins. Moving into the next slide. The reality is that there's a tension between effort and support. Workers often feel overburdened. They work hard every day and struggle with rising living costs, while beneficiaries worry about losing their economic security. This divides the society into two groups: those who give and those who receive. When there's an imbalance between contribution and support, people begin to feel that the system is unfair. This can create divisions within society and reduce trust in institutions. So the main objective is clear. We must reward hard work while ensuring that no one is left behind. Support systems should help people stand on their own feet, not create dependency. At the same time, hard work should always be recognized and fairly rewarded. If we can achieve this balance, we can build a stronger, more united, and more fair society. And over to you, Supan.
Thank you, Arushia. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good evening to you all. Moving to next slide. To solve this challenge, we propose 3 strategic pillars. The first is targeting, using digital registries and public dashboards to ensure that funds reach those who truly need them with full transparency. This prevents misuse and builds confidence in the system. The second pillar is linking work, trying welfare to community activities, skills training in IT and agriculture, and partnerships with the private sector, all those things. The third pillar is social equity, guaranteeing absolute protection for those unable to work, such as elderly and chronically ill. Together, these pillars create accountability, fairness, and sustainability. Moving to next slide. The next step is to make welfare a bridge to independence rather than a permanent reliance. This means avoiding sudden benefit cliffs where people lose all support at once. Instead, benefits should taper gradually with incentives like one-time exit bonuses to encourage successful transitions. At the same time, taxpayers also deserve respect. Offering small tax credits to the middle class and clearly showing how their contributions improve healthcare and infrastructure builds confidence in the system. In the way, welfare supports independence while maintaining fairness, ensuring that people move forward with dignity. Moving to the next slide. This is finally, trust is the foundation of a sustainable welfare system. A fair system does not force us to choose between effort and support. It ensures both work together. Workers see their effort rewarded while vulnerable groups feel protected. This balance leads to higher workforce participation and reduced dependency. In conclusion, the balance between hard work and social support is not just a policy choice, it is the foundation of a fair and sustainable society. By rewarding effort, protecting the vulnerable, and fostering independence, we can create a system that empowers individuals while strengthening the social fabric. The message is clear. Effort and support must work hand in hand to build a future that is fair for all. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks. Any other group? Please remove the document. Any other group? Hello?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, can we go next? So our team members are.
Yeah, you can go. But
Okay.
someone how to share, remove it, right? Who share this one? Yeah, you get it.
Okay. So my team members are, I'm Katina, and my team members are Sumaya, Dilshani, and Nishara.
Katina, again, I want to see group names.
I have
Yeah.
sent it on the group chat. Shall I resend it? One second.
You sent it on the group.
Yeah.
You are the one who yesterday also joined, right?
Yes. So I'll start. So before I start, I just wanted to say that me and Dilshani will be presenting, while Sumaya is the one who made the presentation. And Sumaya and Nishara made the whole presentation, and me will be presenting. Okay. So good.
Yeah, you can do.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so we all know the story of the ants and the grasshoppers, right? Where one works hard. So the ants, they work really hard. And the other, which is the grasshoppers, they just enjoy the moment and struggle later. One second. But in economics, this is not actually a moral story. It's about how people make decisions now and the future. When you look at Sri Lanka, actually, you can see that there's actually a very small amount of people who are working in the formal sector with proper jobs like bank workers, corporate workers who are properly enrolled in a firm. It's actually a very small proportion of the crowd. Majority of the people in Sri Lanka, they're actually employed in the informal sector. For example, you can see a lot of people selling fruits on this road, bus parcels and all on the road. You can see a lot of day pay workers, all of that, who are not really employed in a formal business organization. So for these workers, one second, let me. So for the workers who are actually in a formal job, they have a fixed income. So that means they can plan out their expenses. They can have a proportion of their income saved for their future. But on the other hand, the workers who work on a daily wage basis, their income is inconsistent. That means they don't really have the power to say about for their future. This is not that we can't say that the formal sector workers are responsible and the other workers are irresponsible. It's just that they do not have the ability to save because of the situation of the country, because their income is unpredictable. So this actually slows down the whole economy. Because when you look at this from a growth perspective, according to the Harrod-Domer model, Harrod-Domer's model tells us that economic growth depends heavily on savings and investment. So when a large part of the population is employed in the informal sector and they don't save, that means they have less money to invest, which creates a savings gap. So the entire country, because of this, will be stuck in short-term survival. So because of people who behave like the grasshoppers, the entire country will be stuck in short-term survival, unable to save, and we will lose out on our long-term growth potential. So my teammate, Ms. Dilshani, she will be explaining the policies that we can use to overcome the situation.
Thank you, Katrina. So we implemented to overcome this problem. So can you change the slide? Yeah. So currently, if you actually notice on the policies which government actually like implement, those doesn't actually focus on 3 criteria. But actually to overcome this problem, government has to focus on 3 criteria, which is like to reduce the informality, incentive misalignment, and behavioral short-termism. So to do that, government has to actually not like focusing on changing the people's behavior, they actually have to focus on bringing a redesigned effective system to correct the entire system. So government has to actually focus on providing financial support aligning towards to long-term development, such as like regularly monitoring school attendance or actually like regularly monitoring the health checkups. So if government is actually doing it in religious way, government can actually like ensure that both immediate relief and future benefits are actually like met. They can make sure that they whatever they spend is actually being effective. And moving forward, they can actually like implement strategies such as like deregulations or like providing incentives such as like subsidies to encourage businesses and workers to enter into formal sector to overcome the informal sector which Katina mentioned. So therefore, we can actually like make sure people are actually employed in formal sector and secure job is like given to them. So therefore, the investment gap can be reduced. And moving forward, government can actually implement on mandatory and semi-mandatory saving schemes, such as like educating people with financial literacy, like why savings are important, why investment are important. So therefore, grasshoppers can actually implement or actually can educate themselves with these knowledge and make sure that they actually like make use of their savings in a wiser way. So therefore, here the goal is not only to actually like focus on people's behavior or trying to change them. It is like overall you actually try to change the sector or like change the structure, which government is actually like following for like past 5 decades or 7 decades. The future has to be focused with educating or like implementing nudge theory and to focus more on formal sector. And then I'll be like passing to Katina to conclude the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dilshani. Yeah. So in the end of the day, let me actually 1 second. Yeah. So in the end of the day, our conclusion is that Sri Lanka doesn't really have a people problem. It has a system problem. Because even though people really want to save when they're unsure about future spending, unsure about the economic stability, they would not be sure if saving is actually worthwhile, especially with inflation and all of that. So when people are not in a situation to save, they won't be saving. So in order to overcome this, it's very important that the government nudges these people towards why savings and paying taxations are actually very important. So by nudging them, the government will be able to overcome this market failure. Thank you. Wait, was I audible?
Any other group? Or is that the last one? Okay. Look like the last one. Since nobody share. And let me continue where I stopped the last time.
Professor, is it okay if I leave? Because I joined yesterday.
Sorry?
Is it okay if I leave? Because I joined yesterday.
Yeah. No problem. No problem.
Yeah, so
How
am
up
I.
to you.
Can I also leave, Professor? I'm Darshani. I too
So I
joined
don't mind. Anytime
session.
you can leave and you can
Yeah.
show no
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay. And okay. I hope you can see the screen I share with you. And also I'm audible.
Yes.
Great. And this is what we discussed. And I asked you to look at the two things here. One is the working, the other one is enjoy. And they also look at the carefully AI and AI solution also. All of you did a very good job. But what I did not notice one thing, the grasshopper skills, no one notice and no one focus the grasshopper skills and that side. The problem is now, like most of you took like government, the government role, whether the government understand the situation and whatever the skills both sides we have, and the government create the opportunities. So you did a good effort and understand. Now, these are the key textbook I'm using throughout the this semester, microeconomics. But please keep in mind, I'm not going to directly use those book chapter by chapter. Some inputs I'll take, and also notes my own preparation. The first one, the Mankiw principle of microeconomics. So there are the first session which I'm going to start today definitely come from Mankiw. And the other session also, some of the inputs I took from Mankiw. You can download this entire book, 8th edition. I don't know, then available also some latest edition directly from internet. You don't need to buy, and better you go through to understand the basic and very nice way with the cases and analysis. You can see the manual. And the second one here, the mention, we have written a book that is only applicable to one lesson, that is the theory of production. This book you can even take from the library, the department library, and you can buy it if there are copies. The Hull variance, the third one, they are the mainly mathematic oriented book. Two Hull variance intermediate microeconomics. The other one, Hull variance advanced microeconomics. You don't need to buy, but if you're someone good in mathematics, and just better go through and study the Hull variance. The last one, Dominic Salvatore, that's also very good book to understand, explain three ways descriptively, using graph and also mathematic formulas and notation. So top of these, I mean, you don't need to buy, if not necessary, to buy those books because the handouts, whatever I share with you, enough. Usually I upload to handout to LMS. I did already. And also WhatsApp is still, I did not get the WhatsApp group. And also with the class, Zoom class in the chat. That also I did today. If you have anyone questions, you can call me, you can email me, or you can class the time, you can ask me a question. Now, this is the thing, the grasshopper and story. When I discussed with you the last week, we all, like this, we all live in our box, and that depends on our culture and the education. We can't see out of the box. Like rock in the well. So we have to look at out of the box and see reality. Like a story what we had, the grasshopper have so many more than and hard work. But our policymakers can't see that is the problem.
So your voice is breaking.
Now, these lessons and another few weeks, I'm going to take you to this section. Originally, this handout sorry, what about now? Can you hear me right now?
Now okay, sir. Now okay, sir.
Okay, I don't know how long again. And sorry for that. That is the things, and really, the make the opportunity, create the opportunities, the government role. Let me again. Share. So hope you can see the slide again. Now this particular slide, you can see only these three sections. So I'm going to start today. Before we discuss the microeconomic supply and demand thing, we have to understand the basic principles of economy, the economics teaching. Is relevant to microeconomics, macroeconomics, all the economics concepts. The fundamental, the principles, there are 10 you have to understand. So after that, I will share another slide, and the second one that include this section, we will do after maybe another 2 weeks, we're going to do that. So that is that. Now, the economics why we need economics, why we have to study economics, due to mainly two reasons. One, resources. The society, the economy, country, we have limited resources. Scarcity, the limited resources. If the resources are not limited, we don't need to learn, we don't need economics at all. Because the no limitation, then you can enjoy. The other second part, we have unlimited demand, unlimited wants, unlimited desire. Now you see, one side the limited resources, other side it unlimited. So balance these two, the subject we have developed, the economics. Then we have to answer several questions when we consume, for example, what you buy, how many units you consume. Because you have limited amount of resources, in this case, simple, if I mention money. But your desire, your satisfactions, you can get by so many things. Production is also same. What to produce, how many units produce, how many workers use. So that is the secret, the economics, scarcity and or limited resources. And with that discussion in economics or concepts based on mainly these 10 principles. 10 principles. And the first 4 principles, when you and me individually take the decision, it's related to individual decision. Here, economics, we always talk about the rational person, rational individual, rational people how make the decision. The next 3 principles, 5 to 7, is related to how people interact in the society. Buying, selling, interact with the others. The last 3 principles related to the macro level, how the economy work as whole, that explain those 3 principles. Let me discuss a few things before I move to these 10 principles. We have to understand from the beginning, though last week also we had class I did not do, at least now, a difference between the microeconomics and macroeconomics. I'm going to teach microeconomics. I'm teaching microeconomics. You learn macroeconomics separately. For that, I will take a very famous and popular concept that is called circular economy chart. They are the 2 parties in the society. Basically 2 parties in the society. One what we call household. Household. Now, beauty here, the household, the one basically has all the resources. If you use the economics terms in 4 resources, labor, land, capital, entrepreneurship. All the resources belong to household. And household the one who consume also. That is 2 things important when you look at the household. The other side, we have in the society firms or producers, organization, firms. Now, here, magic here, though we name this as a firm, they don't have anything. They are empty institution, empty box. What happened? What happened? They take resources from household. and produce. All the resources, whatever necessary resources, they take from household. What I say, the labor, land, capital, entrepreneurship, or whatever are all the resources. And produce thing, taking those resources. Now, beauty here, this is not the free of charge taking. Whatever they take, and they pay them back to the household. That goes the wages way, interest, profit, rent, whatever way, is go back. For that, where the firms get money, financial resources. That's simple because the firms take all the resources and process they produce. After they produce, they don't keep anything because the consumers or household they want, and household take them from firms, what we call goods and services. Goods and services, bread, rice, education, health, whatever resources firms produce and household take it. To buy those resources, now household, they have money. Using those money, they buy resources. Now, if you see, this is the magic circle. Magic circle. But this magic circle, there is another bullet, another magic also there. I will take it soon. Before that, now look at here. If household send resources or send in resources or giving resources, earn suppose 5 billion. Every day, all the household. 5 billion. So that is the amount firm give to household. In resource terms, that's 5 billion household give to firm. Firms send goods, the 5 billion value to household, the return, the 5 billions, again, household send back to firm. You see nicely, whatever, now let's say household or in the other terms, society want to work hard, particular country want to work hard, earn maybe more than 5 billion per day or 6 billion, they enjoy. So that's all. Another, the mention, the other bullet here, other magic here, this goes through another channel, that what we call market. That is the magic here. Neither household nor firms know how work in this market. Adam Smith said that the invisible hand decide the market prices. No single household, no single firms. Through the market, it decides. They are the demand and supply. That's what we are going to study. Supply and the demand together decide the market price. market price. Now let's say the bread. The bread price decides such a way, for example, let's say $8. Now, if someone in the society, someone in the household side, not happy with the 8 and they feel that that is very expensive, so he or she can go for another thing and eat, not eat bread. The producers also say, if they feel that they can't give 8, and so they can close, shut down, and they can start another farm. So that here, this journalists decide what to do, how to produce, where to go, and things decide. But nobody influence. That is a magic bullet. That is Smith said, invisible hand. Decide the price, decide the quantity, how many number of bread has to produce per day. All the other goods and services like that. So all take in this 8 and all value, all sectors, all product, all services. At the end of the day, count as the production 5 billion. So that go through this, the market system. The fact, this market, what we call goods market. Same thing happened the factor market also. Those factors move. That is also not, no one influence, for example, let's say simple factor like labor or human resources, your value. As a labor, you go to this firm and work this one, you decide in looking at their benefit and their salaries and things. If you don't feel that the salaries is not enough, you can go to another industry. If you feel that that industry is so frustrated, so issues, then you can find another job, some other industry. So you want to more free times and enjoy, less salary, that also you decide. That is also demand and supply, decide the wage rate. No one influence. When I mention no one influence in the real world is not like, because I will come to that point later on, because the government comes and influence. But this original neoclassical economic, this secular economic system, no one influence. That is the magic. If that is the way is decided. So this through factor market also this 5 billions goes and all the society enjoy 5 billion. Now together, all the society feel that they want to be more satisfaction, more benefit. They work hard and earn 6 billion. 6 billion also they enjoy, and we can say that's the development. You can see how nice this system, society automatically decide and depend on individual decision, whether what they buy, depend on individual decision, which industry they work for, which industry they supply their inputs, is decided. No, but unfortunately, reality right now, the outside institution, I saw that your presentation also correctly you gave, intervenes to the system. Last week I discussed a little bit why this outside institution. We call as a government. The outside institution involved to the system, this particular institution, what we call it the government does not have any resources, government does not have any money, government does not produce anything. Well, that is outside of this economy system. Now, neoclassical economics strongly believe that without, let's say, just now forget about this outside system, this system itself, society can bring to the economic nirvana position, like I explained the last week, top of this Pareto optimum position. But last week, I discussed, it does not happen in the reality. Now, one example I'll take it today. Just now I came from Borella. When I drive in the one junction, it's a signal light. It's 5 seconds only. The driver, the vehicle in front of me, with I think he was born and the next seat, a girlfriend or someone, took some time. Because of that, though within the 5 seconds, I couldn't cross. So that's how the rational people behave in this system. Because he enjoyed with the girlfriend and the mobile, and he got satisfaction in that. Even he did not notice this signal. But the society, like me, it's happened to maybe your life also happened always like that, are the suffering. When the system work with these rational people, independently, those kind of things happen. To avoid those kind of things, or when those kind of things happen, though really we mean the neoclassical economic expected, society reach this economic nirvana top position, the reality is not like. Society is the second position in this ladder. I explained the last time. The reality is like the person I said, of course, the particular story today, what happened, he blocked me after that also because I horn and things also he came. So many things happened. That's the way of the society. It is sure. Now, because of that, the society really not in the top position, in the second place in the ladder. To avoid those kind of things, it's a system created. Of course, always I said years and years, this is the unfortunate kind of situation in Sri Lanka. That system, what we call government. The government intervenes. And if that intervention brings the society back to this top position. That is the basic role of the government. Unfortunately, our policymakers, our politicians, they don't understand that. Last week I explained if not happen, what happened, and that's why in the society, Sri Lankan society, we live in underground. I explained last week. Now, here, the government need money. Because of that, imposing tax all the channel. Government take money. Wherever government see, nowadays Sri Lankan government, of course, you can see even the dead body, they take tax money. If you calculate, I have written article I wanted to share with you maybe next week. In Sri Lankan government take money, you and me, our earning groups, over 72% of the earning take as tax. Now, everywhere possible, government take tax to maintain the government and provide this service. Now, for example, in Sri Lankan case, like if the society together earn 5 billion, government now take more than 3 billion. Almost 2/3 of the earning government take. Because the tax rate, direct and indirect tax rate all together, if you count, it's about 2/3 of the earning. Now, taking this 3 billion from the system, those are the money really you and me enjoy as an individual, your hard work. Like you said, the grasshopper and story ants. Now the government play with this money, 3 billion, because the government is doing nothing, taking this money, and also the government does not feel that also, because they don't earn the particular institution, they don't expend also. Behalf of that, some other people recruit, they do. They know that's not their money. Whatever it is. But in this system, you hard work, you earn money. Then you know how it's like you carry your own water, you peel that. You don't drop any you don't drop anything, and you try to carry water for your home. But it's not like that. The government officers, government politicians, they don't do it because they don't feel that hard. Taking this 3 billion, if society better off, reach to at least the original top position, send them back at least 3 billion. Send them back at least 3 billion to the system again. Now you open your eye, at least see whether the government does like this. Not only Sri Lanka, any other country you can see. But Sri Lankan case is worse. So you can see it. If government properly work, taking this 3 billion and should be able to provide more to the system and should be able to, that is the neoclassical again argument, rather bring the economic nirvana and more the higher position also. Government should be able to do that. If the government fails to do so, if government fail to do so, that's what we call government failure. The people, the society drop further, third level, fourth level, fifth level, ground, and even the underground. You can see that danger is worse than the first failure, that what we call market failure, market system failure. The market failure, you drop only one ladder. If clearly identify, you can correct it. Now, for example, the case I took today, the signal light, the driver, if the police officer really look at them, there are someone like a government is the police officer, notice them, take action. Take an action. Now, another thing happened also when you came here, I saw another vehicle and the police took the one side because the small accident, because that group and support the police somehow and maybe different way. And so is the corruption happen. If the government failure different way, situation become worse and worse and society fall down continuously. So now you can see the story, really what happened in the society. Now I start this drawing this circular economy diagram to explain the difference between microeconomics concept and macroeconomics concept. So I did some other thing also to understand the holistic picture, what really happened in the economy, the society right now. Now come back to the micro and macroeconomics thing. The microeconomics, what we do, we study this single component or individual component of this chart. Like this one, the market signal, household individual, goods market also demand, for example, bread demand and bread supply, factor market, labor demand, labor supply separately, firms behavior, and that's individual component of the system, micro system, micro behavior, we study the microeconomics. There really the microeconomics has to be very clear aware of this, and each and every inch, each and every corner of the system, understand. The macroeconomics, what we do, look at the holistic way. Take the system as a holistic and try to understand. There, for example, Now the macroeconomists take this good and service channel, cut it, and say GDP. Or maybe the expenditure, this one channel every year cut somewhere, and how much the move, and there's GDP in the expenditure. And the demand and supply, they look at the aggregate supply and aggregate demand. They are the price, but the microeconomics, we look the price decision, they took the inflation instead of price. Whole system, they look at the behavior. Now you can see the macroeconomics look at the holistic way, like you, let's say, have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and just look at when she comes or he comes and beautiful things and just to beauty. But the microeconomics say how she behave, how she talk, how the other thing, all the components, and separately look at it. So that is the difference between the macroeconomics and microeconomics. Now there are two type of policies also. The macroeconomics, what they do, basically two institutions doing the macroeconomics policy: central bank monetary policy, that is doing central bank, and the treasury doing the fiscal policy. So monetary and fiscal policy, what they do, inject the strategies and solutions to the system. Just drop to the system. For example, central bank increase, decrease interest rate, just to the system. Central bank print money is not the particular area, just put it to the system. Government impose the tax and expenditure as a system. Now, for example, let's say the water line, like here. Now, the macroeconomics, they do, for example, let's say they put 100%, 100 liters of water here, and they expect reach back to the society and go to the society is 100 liters. That exactly happen like macroeconomics thing. If there is no leakages in the system, they don't look at the leakages. They don't want to. That is very efficient. Put the 100 and society absorbed 100. But the problem here, this water line, so many leakages everywhere. If these leakages there, when you put 100%, for example, central bank put 100%, 100 liters water, society get maybe 10 liters. 10 liters. That is the government failure. That is the policy failure. So central bank put a genuine even effort. I don't think so. They do it right now anyway. That is the thing, because the water line has so many leakages. What are the leakages in this economic system? Now, look at the Sri Lankan economy. I have done so many studies. About 62 to 67%, the economic activities are belong to informal sector, what we call informal economy. 62 to 67 around. Whenever interest rate play, the informal sector, they don't answer. No need to answer. Now that what happened, the government increased the tax. This informal sector, they start their business, move to Singapore, India, or they use the different strategy. The other, in Sri Lanka, about 15% and 80%, the economic activities are illegal economic activities. Either drug dealing, commission, corruption, those kind. Now look at all together, about 87% of the economic activities either illegal or either informal, which means the system, this water canal system, 80%, 87% are leaking. You can see the genuinely is go to the society only 13%. Though that is the failure of the macroeconomics policy. Let's look at the micro level. The microeconomics, we look at the each single places and see whether there are leakages. They are the carpenters. Each places they are look at the market, household, channel, and any leakages. Introduce policy to leakages. So that is little bit time consuming, not efficient, but effective. If they put effort, 100%, 100% absorb the society also. Now, for example, industrial policy. Of course, our industrial ministry is not understand those things. Education policy separates, but we call sectorial policies and target these leakages. They patch these leakages and let the smoothly move. When they patch the leakages, macroeconomics policy work properly. So they has to collaborate. In Sri Lanka, unfortunately, we don't have a system that collaboration. They have to work together. Some time back, I remember we did the exercise, consultation work for Treasury and World Bank and National Social Protection. We proposed National Social Protection is not itself the giving the samurdhi, giving welfare. Has to do that. Set up a unit, the micro and macro together, because the micro policy makers, the micro policies is the one fix the patches. So that also required. If the micro level policies work properly, then the macro efficient policies can come and beneficially work. In that happened, the government take in 3 billion, at least government can send back to 3 billion to society. And people can reach back to the economic nirvana position. So that is the thing. Now you can see the microeconomics again, look at the individual component of this system. The microeconomics understanding important to fix the sectorial microeconomics, micro level patches. And the macroeconomics look at the whole system and try to feed the system and improve the system. So what I'm going to do with you to help you to understand, to analyze this individual component, household behavior, firms behavior, the market, partial individual market, and the factor market, and this channel separately, how decide. And so that's the difference between the microeconomics and macroeconomics. Now, though I wanted to start today the 10 principles, so I only give an introduction here, difference between the micro and macroeconomics. With that, I'll stop this point. With the Saturday class also, this is the point I stop. Next week, I will teach you, or maybe we'll go through these 10 principles. If someone want to read, go to Mankiv's Principle of Microeconomics book and read that chapter, very nicely explained. Then you will understand when I come to next class, next week. Thank you very much. If you have any clarification, any question, because I always like question, anyone can ask, anyone can give inputs. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting. In 2 minutes, I also leave the meeting. Okay. It looked like no any question, but please next time at least bring 1 or 2 questions, then we can have a nice discussion. Here, the purpose is not one-way teaching. Using AI, now you can do those. We have to discuss, we have to clarify things, and we have to, that way we have to go. Okay, see you next week. Bye-bye.